spray mace. Put me on blast, I'm heading straight to your face like what? I thought so. You don't know I spit that hard geometry, that's why I'm beast mode.
Oh man, this is a tough one. Before we get into this, I want to say I do not condone any child bringing any weapon, gun, knife, nunchucks, scythes, swords, whatever. I don't condone that. I don't condone violence. I think there's better ways to handle a lot of things that are going on. With that said, those better things starts with parents and school administration, not just the teachers, but the administration. I've been kind of approached about this from different angles on my podcast page. A lot of people want to know our opinion on it. We'll go deep into it as a group on our podcast, Beard and Brews, link in the description if you want to catch our episodes. We do record live on Sundays, but I wanted to give my opinion as someone who was bullied as a child. I was bullied. I was picked on. I was, ostracized. And I feel for Timothy. I feel for him. If you don't know, Timothy Simpkins is a young child who went to Arlington High School, or a school or high school in Arlington, and he brought a gun to school and he shot some people. Okay, now immediately I dismissed this because I dismissed it as this happened. This is it. If you really know, I just did a video about potential shooting in Illinois yesterday. I posted it yesterday. It was basically someone that made a post, and I want you to go back and watch that video, and I want you to come, watch it, listen to this one too. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I've always shunned down on school shooters, but I've always only said things about people who were racially motivated or hate motivated. It was never about bullying, because I know what that's like. I know what it's like to have people come down on you so hard. Kids are cruel. Even when I was a kid, kids are cruel. Kids have no filters, and it's only a small percent of parents out there who will come and check their kids and tell their kids, you don't do that. We don't do that. You don't pick on him. A lot of parents actually push for that, or they don't say anything at all. Apparently, Timothy's parents aren't those parents. They said that there was numerous reports and numerous complaints that were filed with the school, and it went unheard. No one really said anything. No one helped. He was picked on. And he took matters into his own hands, which, again, I do not condone, because I have family that live in that area. I don't think any of my family's children go to that school, but that could have been any school. That could have been a school here where I'm at. It could have been a school where you're at. It could have been anything. Could have happened. I don't condone that. That's not cool. And I want to say to Timothy, if you ever hear this, brother, that was a bad mistake. That was not a good idea to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to say to those of you that are trying to come down and saying that he should go to jail and whatnot, I'm not far from that, because I understand why he did it. I understand why he did it, but at the same time, some innocent people were hit. I don't know how many. I haven't really looked into this case, but I know innocent people were hit, and that's never good. Nobody should die. Nobody should die from this, but at the same time, it was being reported that the kids that were harassing him made threats, and the administration didn't do anything about it, or they did very little. My daughter went through something like that in the 6th grade, where she was being harassed by a girl, and me and her mother had to make it clear that we are not going to tolerate that. And I think once we stepped in and we showed that we weren't playing, the school really got on it, because I'm a different breed. I got nieces, nephews, and little cousins that will handle stuff like that for me. but we don't want to go there. We would rather them go and become friends. That's always been my motto. And normally bullies have a deeper, darker issue going on in their lives to make them be bullies. So normally if you can crack the surface, you can find what the problem is. You know, I remember I had a bully in high school. He used to pick on me all the time. He used to talk about how I used to dress and how I used to, I didn't wear, back when I was young, it was Starter and Jordans. I didn't wear that stuff. I wore clothes from like Walmart and JW, cheap clothes. But I found out that he had a nice pair of shoes and a nice starter coat, but he would never take his coat off, and that was because he couldn't afford no clothes. He would wear the same thing 2-3 days in a row. He'd go home and his house was just a wreck. It was nasty. He had to wash his clothes in the sink every night just to have a semi-decent fresh pair of clothes. And once we found that out, instead of me laughing at him or making fun of him, me and my family, we actually gave him a bunch of my old clothes, and we helped his mom. My aunt helped his mom find a job, and we really did what we could to help them, and they really appreciated that. Me and him became friends until he passed away in 2001. But at the same time, you have to understand, with most bullies, it's a deeper, darker surface. I'm not condoning bullying either. I'm not saying it's a good idea to bully, because the thing is, when you bully somebody, that's affecting them. And not everybody's as strong-willed as me. Not everyone as me, it's like me, and has resources to get that taken care of and nipped in the bud. With that said, people are really coming down on him as far as treating him like past shooters. If I remember correctly, the last mass shooter of a school, it was racially motivated. This is not like one school where the kid didn't even go to the school. He just showed up to a random elementary school and started shooting stuff up. This isn't that. This is something, this is a conversation that needs to be had. We need to talk about this amongst ourselves as parents, teachers. We need to really discuss this type of stuff. This is a conversation that needs to happen. This is why things like the PTA is important. This is why parents need to be involved in students' affairs. And I'm not saying his parents weren't, but I'm just saying, because he's a good kid, he had no type of stereotypical issues that plague our community. He was a child of a 2-parent home. He was polite, young man. He had dreams. He went to a private school, and because this problem wasn't fixed, he probably has altered his future for the worse. So, do I feel like he should go to jail? I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't want him to go to jail, but at the same time, that could have been my daughter there, that could have been anybody's daughter there, and he went there and just started busting blindly. So yes, I feel like some punishment should be administered. I definitely think psychiatric care needs to happen. I really think any administrator that knew about this, any staff member that knew about this and did nothing, needs to lose their job, because that's not a school that I would want my child to go to if the staff and the administrators don't do anything about bullying. This is the other side of it, y'all. This is the side that nobody talks about. This is when shit gets crazy. So I'm not gonna get on my high horse. I'm not gonna get on my soapbox and spew, oh, this is racism or whatever, because granted, the backlash is, but at the same time, it's the internet. People are weird. People have nothing else better to do than to sit there and type their opinions when they know damn well if it was their child, they'd be on the same shit. So I don't want him to go to jail, but like I said, that could have been my kid, that could have been my niece, that could have been my nephews. He made a horrible mistake, and I am someone who believes if you make a horrible mistake, you have to. I believe in accountability, so It is what it is. But at the same time, this needs to be thoroughly investigated. He's out on bond, a $75,000 bond he's out on. So that means his family is really trying to fight this. He doesn't look like a threat. He looks like he's a nerdy kid that just got pushed to the limit. And that's how it happens. I've actually looked at several cases where kids were good kids and then they either kill themselves or they shoot up the school. This could have went their way. He could have killed himself. And you know the crazy thing about it, if he would have killed himself, nobody wouldn't have cared. None of y'all would have cared. He just would have been another black person killing himself. But the fact that he turned the gun on someone else, now everyone cares. I think that's what bothers me the most about all this. I know you guys wouldn't care if he would have killed himself. I'm rooting for you, little bro. I hope they come up with a suitable means of dealing with this. I don't want him to go to jail. I don't even like when people go to jail for stuff like this because I feel like psychiatric help is more important, mental health and getting that right. Because when you put somebody in jail, normally they just sit there. But that's all I got to say about it. Y'all be cool.